Hey there. You're watching the Jessa Channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today I am here with more Skyrim. Kinlen and her companions, Scout and Miko and Lynn, are here at Reachwind Eyrie. Kinlen completed her business in Markarth, reporting the disappearance and what she found out about in Nashwanzel, and she reported that to the court wizard, and he paid her handsomely for her findings. Kinlen then went to the inn for a well-earned night's sleep. And Clipper, as she was eating her dinner, walked over and said, "You may find this interesting." He handed her a note. "To all adventurers, there are many ghost stories and tales revolving around the old Dwemer ruin," I think it's supposed to say, "to the southeast. Recently, there have been peddlers claiming to have seen something moving in and out of the exterior porch, like the glint of an armor. It is likely this is just another tall tale, but may be worth investigating." Klepper said, "Perhaps there's coin in it for you." So Kinlen, since this is on her way to Dushnikh, decided to investigate. "Hey, girl." We'll give Scout a treat while we still can. Oh, I love her face. Look at her. She's like, "Thanks, Mom." And let's see. By the way, this is Kinlen, as always. Looking awesome. She's great. She's just a great character. Preparing herself for whatever she might meet, spirit or otherwise, Kinlen carefully steps up. Doesn't see anybody, but then she hears someone is eating. They're obviously no threat. Is that a tale of an Argonian? Excuse me. I have heard tale that there has been... Excuse me?
Ah, a visitor. Word travels fast, it seems. As fast as time flies. Which makes sense, given that they're both a type of bird. No doubt. You came for the Argonian known as Two Tails. I am he.
You are the source of the strange activity? I am honored to meet you. Two Tails, I am Kinlen.
As you should be. It's not every day you get to meet the first hero of the Fourth Era, and champion of Tamriel. With the Divine's blessing, I've been granted a great gift. A weapon to conquer an ancient evil that has awoken from centuries of slumber. That's why the bards sing my name, from mead halls to ship decks, in castles and colleges, and sometimes in your head. Our hero, claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dwarvenborn comes.
The what? And, oh, please, do stop that. Dwarvenborn? And we're going to, at this point, skip ahead a bit, because I have been through this conversation, and I think the one flaw of interesting NPCs is that the NPCs are very interesting, but they are incredibly long-winded, and we would easily sit here for 10 minutes. So we're going to skip ahead to the next part of this story. After some considerable time, Two Tails has shared with Kinlen about Mazanok, a mad dwarven god. Two Tails, as the dwarven-born, has declared himself the emissary to this god's return. So, we're going to ask him one final question.
It's the only place that's completely safe. Mazanok has his spiders everywhere, hiding in the dirt like eight-legged mud crabs. They're out there right now, burrowed in the mud, not 40 paces from where we stand, using the grass and the weeds like an insect's antenna. Only these antennae aren't like the kind you find on a bug. No, attached at the end are magical listening spheres, painted white to look like flowers. Cotton balls, fungal pods, tulips. His eyes and ears are everywhere, searching for the one they call Dwarvenborn. Conversely, there isn't a section of wall or piece of dwarven metal that I haven't blessed with my machine hand. It's completely quarantined.
So, Two Tails is either an ancient genius or nuts. I'm banking on the latter.
As like to say, may your sand lead to road worms or something.
Kinlen walks by him somewhat nervously and makes her way to the overlook. That was, I think, a breath of fresh air is needed after that Argonian's insanity. I'm also hoping to be able to see my way to where I need to be. Perhaps that there. I take out my compass and map. So, Reachwind Cliff. At this point, we might have to do a little bit of wandering to find Dushnikh Y'all. I believe it's down here. We all have to follow the road. Perhaps an adventure awaits. Kinlen notices the chest. Trying it, seeing it's locked, she takes out the hilt of her sword and hits the hilt against the chest. Ah, another one of those magic feathers. They're very useful. And bring in good coin. And then she grabs an egg before the dogs can take it, because they do like playing with the eggs. The birds' eggs. He seems perfectly harmless. So I will report back to Klepper that there's no ghost tales here. There are no ghost tales here. Ah, fresh air again. It was rather close in there. I wonder how many years he's been in there, wearing that heavy dwarven armor, waiting for some mad god. I think it's time to make our way back to the road. And from then on, further south. Let's see. Oh. We'll avoid any drama with those wolves. There's the path I came up again. There's a rabbit tucked in between those rocks. I hope it stays safe. Ah! Could it be Dushnikh, y'all? That looks like the berry of an orc stronghold. Wonderful! Just where I need to be. Wait a minute. Can't just walk up to the gate.
There's a lot of orc smiths in the Empire. Doesn't matter how different life in the army is. Give them a forge and they feel right at home.
Yes, well, that's good to note, but Len, I am here to do the blood proving as by the chief assigned me to. And what Mala's talking about is the chief of Mor Khazur informed Mala about the fact that she would need to do a blood proving in order to make herself a true bloodkin. And that her reward would be the possibility of an orc warrior to fight by her side in the final battle with Ulfric. Kinlen stops and pauses to consider matters. Also, perhaps a little lunch. You see, the thing is that... Do I just walk in there and declare myself a possibility for champion among the orcs? Very odd thing. And I'm gonna actually open up here and have Kinlen eat something while she's sitting. Kinlen crosses her legs, sitting down, and enjoys a bit of lunch. She grabs some food that is becoming just a little stale, washes it down with a bit of milk and some water. I have these 2 Orsinian battle tea to give to the orc chief as my arrival gift. My understanding is that this blood proving, Kinlen thinks to herself while munching on her lunch. She occasionally throws pieces over to the dogs, and then makes sure that they have plenty of fresh meat and gives them water as well too. But this blood proving is like a kind of arena. So what will happen? Will they take my armor? How many orcs do I have to fight against? It's very confusing. But I think the only thing to do is to announce my presence and my intention. I think word has been sent in advance, so they should know I'm coming. Well, Kinlen looks herself over and makes sure she looks presentable. You can see she always has sort of a funny look on her face sometimes. I take it that she doesn't like something she smelled or her tummy hurts. At this point, we'll say it's anxiety. Let's see how Kinlen is greeted at the orc stronghold of Dushnikh, y'all. Taking a deep breath, Kinlen opens the gate. The first thing she notices is a powerful warrior practicing in the distance. The orcs go about their business, taking little heed of her. But she knows that if she were not bloodkin, she would be challenged, and the gate barred to her. She notices an orc mother, perhaps the chief's wife, or one of his wives, and introduces herself.
Orc poisons are to be feared if you wish to trade.
I am fond of a good poison. My name is Kinlen. Murbul? Murbul. Well, tell me more about the people here.
We have lived in Skyrim since before the Nords came. Our way is simple. All work to make the tribes strong. Only the bravest are allowed to lead, and to marry. A great chief is able to attract many wives and raise bold children. Wise women like myself are mothers of chieftains. We guide the tribe and advise our kin on what is most pleasing to Malakath.
You will pardon my asking so many questions upon arrival, but Malakath, I wish to learn more.
He is our creator and master, the Daedric Lord of the Sworn Oath and the Bloody Curse. Malakath teaches us to honor all words with action, to demand blood from your enemies and strength from your allies. He watches over all orcs as his children, a truth those who leave the stronghold are quick to forget.
Well, I have been to the other strongholds, and that is why I'm here. Where's your chief? Ah, thank you. I will look for him.
Mm-hmm.
Kinlen watches the warrior fight, and then steps in.
I used to wander the corners of Skyrim like you. I miss those days.
I am Kinlen. You are? Gorbash. You say you miss traveling, as that is nothing... well, nothing but what I have been doing all these days so far, it seems.
I do. There's a freedom the roads give you that the stronghold does not. But I have a place here, and I wouldn't want to dishonor my clan by leaving again like some young pup.
There's a lot out there to see, though. But I understand honoring your clan is important. You have a good sword swing. Or a good axe swing, I should say. And then Kinlen quickly backs up.
I am the huntswife of this stronghold.
I am
Myrtle knows
Kinlen.
many poisons and cures if you need them.
Thank you, I have met her. I am looking for your chief.
All right, then.
I will continue to look. Kinlen takes note of everything in the stronghold, noticing that everyone seems to be at peace and everyone has a job to do. Some orcs are... Ah, there he is. Some orcs are patrolling, some are working, and the chief is doing what he should, watching over his people. Herein is the chief, a real warrior. Kinlen walks over. Ho there, I am Kinlen. I am here for blood proving, sent by the northern chieftain.
You speak to Borgug, chief of Dushnikh, Jarl.
You are the chief.
Yes. I earned the right by slaying my father in single combat. One day, I will have a son who will challenge me when I become too old to lead, and the stronghold will have a new chief. Until then, I alone have the right to have wives and children. It ensures our strength.
I will be clear with you and frank, as I imagine that you would appreciate such directness. I am looking for warriors, orc warriors, to help in fighting against Jarl Ulfric Stormcloak, who attempts to take Skyrim away from, well, all that it should stand for, to be honest. I understand that in order to complete becoming a bloodkin. As an outsider, I need to finish the blood proving, or do the blood proving. So I am here. At this point, Kinlen sits down next to the chief.
Fight well.
They have a long talk. The chief tells her about the different aspects of the blood proving, what is necessary to, what restrictions, what she needs to understand, and the price of loss. After completing their talk, he invites her to stay, set up her tent for the evening, and prepare herself for the blood proving begins in the morning. As he walks away from her, he tosses over his shoulder, "Fight well." He walks into his longhouse without another word. Since Kinlen has been invited to put her tent up here, as she is not yet welcome to sleep in the longhouse, she looks for a place. Perhaps there may be some place flat enough? If not, she will sleep just outside the gate. This might do here. Let's see if there's enough room. Yep, it's going to be hard to find flat enough ground here. And Kinlen does not want to be impolite and put her tent in any place that blocks the view of the chieftain's area. So, if she put one right here, it would just block everyone from being able to walk through. So, she walks outside to look for some flat ground. Here looks to be a perfect spot. Ah, yes. Just up against the rocks here. And then she turns to place the fire. And now for some wood. You all may relax. We will camp here tonight while I do meditation and prepare. And she tells everybody that they can relax, and we're going to go get some wood. Kinlen takes out her rusty, not trust. I meant to say trusty, not rusty. Axe, and gather wood. To gather wood. Perhaps one more just here. The mod that I am using to do this so simply and easily is Camping Light, which I've used throughout most of our previous playthrough of Skyrim, and now all throughout this one. It is my favorite, by far my favorite camping mod, because it is so simple and so effective.
The orcs are honest people with a simple code. This is good. But they pray to a strange god, and that's bad.
I think we need to know more about this strange god before we judge him. Or her. I suppose it is a him. Kinlen notices that Lynn is going in. There's Reachrind. Sensing that she needs a little bit of time alone, Kinlen walks off just a bit from the camp. Just to think. Perhaps. Yes. It might be good to sit and enjoy looking out over the orc stronghold. She's going to sit here, and she takes out her pipe, tamps down some elf's ear into the pipe with a practiced hand, and then sits down to enjoy it. The chief tells her that the blood proving is going to be held right outside, if possible, outside the gate if we can't fit the arena area inside. We'll see how that goes. And this is what he informed her. He told her that Kinlen would be stripped of her armor and her weapons. She would be given weapons that had an armor that was fitting for an orc. An orc of the lowest caste. And at that point, she would be able to pick one orc to fight by her side. Her dogs would not be allowed to fight by her side, nor would Lynn. This was orc and potential bloodkin against whatever foes the chief decided to conjure up. Using an arena-type placement, Malakath would provide the enemies for Kinlen to defeat. If she died, that was the end of it. If she lived, her blade as bloodied and dirtied as the orc companion, then she would be fit to pick an orc of her choosing, who wished to go with her, of course. No orc could go without their, unwillingly, I should say. But once that was done, she would have an orc to fight by her side in the Civil War. And that is the essence of the blood proving. Kinlen has been tested a great deal. First by her father, then by the machinations of Jarl Ulfric, now by the orcs, and she has a feeling, and she is quite correct, that that testing is not done, and that it will continue until she determines the measure of a warrior. And we will end this episode here. In the next episode, we will join Kinlen for the blood proving. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the thumbs up button below. And if you loved it, join the party and subscribe. I'll see you back here for more Skyrim. And as always, thank you so much for watching.